Hello, everybody. It's me, Roscoe, and we're here to react to Town's first January transfer of the window. And I'm here with AJ to react to it. My friends, it's been linked, it was rumoured, and it's now been official on a season-long loan. I'll let you announce who it is, because everyone else does know already, but take it away.
You're going to let me announce because we've already had a take doing this and you were not able to pronounce the name. It's Jeremy Sarmiento coming in from Brighton Hove Albion on a season-long loan, or at least until the end of the season. He's already had the first half of the season at West Brom. Versatile attacking player. He's an Ecuador international. He's, a lot of different strings to his bow, and that's a lot of depth in that position behind the striker. That's important, I think. So a really nice addition to have as the first one of the January transfer window.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, he got recalled. Brighton, triggered that recall clause. Of course, he was doing okay at West Brom. Obviously they beat us early in the season. One of our only, defeats really of the season. Of course, we've lost, against Leeds twice, but the West Brom game at home for us 2-0. He came off the bench for that one. And obviously he's played 21 games for them, scored 2 goals. Obviously, he has played in the Premier League, AJ. What's your overall thoughts on this signing? There'll be a few question marks, like, was it needed? I think it does, just adds that bit more depth in that attacking areas, and he looks exciting. Although he's young, but he looks exciting.
Yeah, I think needed is an interesting word. They need a striker, that's for sure. They probably need 2 strikers. Is this one that you'd say is needed? Not necessarily, because there's depth in these areas. You look at Harness, you look at Hutchinson, players like that. Jack Taylor can play as a 10. But adding someone else who has that kind of raw quality and energy, who can play kind of across the 3 in a similar way. I think there are a lot of similarities with Amari Hutchinson here. I think that's really important, especially going into the second half of the season where players are going to be injured. Players are, there's already some on international duties, albeit kind of defensive players. You're going to have suspensions. You're going to have players that are just going to be tired and need a rest. And to have that bit of depth there is going to be really important. This is going to be someone who's arriving here to play games because he didn't really get that chance that much at Hawthorns. He had a lot of appearances, more than anything, off the bench. Didn't really have the time to influence as much, just a couple of goals, no assists. This move, I think, will be made in terms of, getting him regular minutes, which will be tough because there's kind of the set 3 behind the striker at the moment, isn't there? But also, I think it's just playing in an attacking team. I think that there's a feeling that at West Brom, a good, solid defensive unit may be lacking a little bit in terms of that cutting edge up front. If you're going to come play at Ipswich, there's going to be constant chance creation, a lot of opportunities to get goals and assists. And as well, with the Copa America coming up this summer, I think that there is this idea that they maybe want to catch the eye. He hasn't been in the Ecuador squad since March when he injured himself. Injuries are also a concern because he has been in and out with... they haven't really been that major ones, but it's either been a few weeks to a few months sometimes, and that's going to be one where Town are going to have to look out for that. But he has something to prove, I think, and that's always exciting. A lot of raw quality. There's a reason why Benfica wanted him at youth level and got him for so long. There's a reason why Barcelona and Bayern Munich and Valencia and PSG and all these teams wanted him at youth level. There's a reason why Brighton have him and haven't just said, you haven't reached the level. They want to develop him, and they do think that he has the potential to reach those kind of levels. And that's got to be exciting when you look at the talent that they've produced and sold in the last few years. I think it shows that that is a level that he can reach. It's just going to be about getting him there.
Yeah, he's played 19 times in the Premier League, which is not too bad at all for his age. And obviously, he played for Ecuador at the World Cup in 2022 in Qatar. And I've seen one of his goals he scored for West Brom. He scored just 2 for them, but he scored an absolute stunner at Cardiff in late November. I think it was the game after he came off the bench against Town. Obviously, he had a few little injuries, as you mentioned. And obviously, AJ, you can watch all the highlights, and they are always the good bits, aren't they? The show reels, the great skills and all that. But what can we expect from Jeremy? He's exciting play. He's a cage footballer, isn't he? He's that street footballer style. Obviously, he's sort of similar to Amari Hutchinson in a way, with the skills and everything. But what shall we expect? And he played more on the left, didn't he, for West Brom?
Yeah, played more on the left. His dad, who's played kind of quite an influential part in his career, has been often the kind of the face who's spoken to the media and things like that. He's put him out as a kind of a player through the middle. The West Brom take on that is that if he's in a congested part of the pitch, he could kind of get nullified a little bit. So he maybe likes the space to play on the flanks, especially on the left has been the main bit. But from what I've seen from the little clips, he's quite good at kind of working in those tight spaces. He's a really good dribbler. He's strong as well. And I think that's important in the Championship where you're going to come up against big, tall, dominant defenders. And if you can shrug off a challenge, or at least if not, know when to go down and draw the foul, then that's going to be a really good trait to have in this team. So that's a lot of exciting things. I think, as you say, the street footballer style is going to be an important one. It's about making sure that it's not a case of it being all style, no substance. And we have seen that with footballers in the past. I think there were concerns, as you kind of spoke about, with Amari Hutchinson coming in, having never played senior football. And you look at the first few games thinking, wow, he's such an exciting talent. That's absolutely fine. But then transferring that to the Championship's another matter. Kieran McKenna's managed to do that really well with Amari Hutchinson. And the challenge is going to be the same thing. I don't think that he's necessarily quite as maybe skill flicky kind of player. I don't really know what the right adjectives would be for that. Like those videos of Ronaldo when he was younger doing about 8,000 step overs and then losing the ball, that kind of thing. You need to have more to your game than that. And that's also a key part of the Championship. I don't think he's had the opportunity to show that as much at West Brom. So it will be interesting to see how he steps up to this challenge, because he's going from a team, again, with no kind of disrespect meant to West Brom, a really good team and one that I still think will finish in the playoffs, but he's now going to be thrown into the midst of the top two challenge. A team that will have ambitions of being there or thereabouts, even if they don't end up making it come the end of the season. A side that going into January is second in the league, and that's going to raise the bar for him. And I think that's exactly what Brighton want from it as well. It's going to be a real test for him, and I think that they believe, and they are a really good judge of talent, as we've seen. I think they believe he can definitely reach that level.
Yeah, and a fan of quad numbers. I know you are, HA, and I know there's a lot of people out there. He's got the 21 shirt. I think it was Greg Lee's shirt. I think it was. So yeah, 21 for him. And AJ, it's good to see the business getting done early. Obviously, we know it's going to be a busy transfer window for Town from incomings and departures, but we're 3rd of January, and Town have signed one player already, which is a good start. And I'm sure there's other positions we're going to strengthen him, but that's a good sign so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think doing it early, I think this has been in the works for a while, hasn't it? Brighton probably had a few words with Ipswich and said, look, we're going to recall him, or maybe vice versa. The minutes haven't been there at West Brom, the style isn't there. We want them to go to Ipswich, where the style is there under Kieran McKenna, are a free-flowing attacking side and one that is going to be challenging at the top, and that's maybe a good change for him. I think West Brom fans will miss him, especially in the next month. And I think that, there are some who say that he wasn't consistent enough, and then that's going to be an area of his game that he's going to need to improve. But to get a player like that through the door this early is important, and it shows, it kind of sets a marker more than anything for what they want to do this month, I think, because this is that little period now, especially with the FA Cup. Town haven't got a huge tie. They're not looking to go to Manchester United on Saturday, play a full-strength team and need strikers and attacking players that they're currently missing. They can go and rotate. They can give these players a couple of minutes. I'd be interested to see if Sarmiento maybe gets a run out, maybe even start, who knows, at Wimbledon on Saturday afternoon, Saturday lunchtime. Be a good platform for him. It also just gives them a couple of weeks now to get their eggs in the basket and go from there, because we all know that they need a striker. We probably all know they need another striker on top of that. You're then looking at maybe defenders, midfielders. There's a lot of areas that they need to kind of go and get players in. So from that perspective, to start off with this, albeit maybe not in an essential position, I think that's really important. And yeah, it just sets the tone really for this window that we all know has to be huge.
Indeed. Well, there we go then, ladies and gentlemen. The first January transfer of the window, Jeremy Sarmiento. I think I said it right, maybe not. That's how I'm saying it, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on this one, and get yourself ready for a big January transfer window for Town. Bye-bye for now.